Good morning, guys. Sunny as always here in the north. Yeah, right. Late November, Northern Ontario. What's the sun? We're going to head back into the swamp today. We're going to bring the Action 4. That's going to be our point of view, our main camera as we're walking the trails back here. I have not been back to the swamp in probably a month. We're going to bring the scope. So we're actually going to head southeast today. And we're going to head for the open swamp, the big one that we can put the scope and look. Now that all the leaves are down, there's no leaves left. I mean, the evergreens are still green, but maybe across the swamp we'll be able to see into the woods a little bit from where we are. That's why we're bringing the scope. And we're going to just go for a hike and see what's going on back there. It is hunting season, so I'm wearing orange. But remember, this is all private property. There shouldn't be anyone back there. The ravens. Yeah, I was just gonna put the camera away, pick up the gear and get going, and there's the ravens on cue. Something stepped on the end of that. You can see right there. First red squirrel of the morning. Hopefully you guys can see with this point of view that I pick the easiest places to walk. So if you're looking ahead, you can see Gary's either going to go there, there, or there. And that by far is the most open. So that's where I go, especially when I've got a tripod and great big armload of gear with me. This thing's swinging around on my shoulders. I've got to go where it's the most open. And I am no different than any other animal out here. The deer are doing the same thing. Coyotes, wolves. Something could be living down inside there. What am I looking at? I see another bunch of leaners all leaning in together down here. You guys won't see it yet. These action cameras, they give you such a wide angle of view. I've got to get right up on stuff before you see it. You guys see it now? Right there, through there. Things like this catch your eye from quite a ways off. You guys can see the open pond through there. But right here is what I'm talking about. That last one looks weird. The black one going across the top there. It's up in the air. Like it, almost like it was laid across the top of this mess. Look at this. Look at this. Where did this come from? This didn't come from anywhere right here on the ground. There's no stump right here. And this is wedged in here. I mean, that's odd. That's weird. This, to me, looks like, I mean, there is no stump right there. You guys can see. We've got stuff going in every direction here. A ridgepole here with two across it. Then the black one that looks like it was laid on top. And then the black one is holding up another one down there on the end. Well, that's, look, it's just so intricate. That one there is running across those two little ones there, which is being held up by this one here, which are being held up by this whole thing right here in front of me. It's like, that's weird. I gotta go under. It's the only easiest way. This is what I'm talking about right here. Here's this black one laid on top. And then out on the end of it, it's holding up a completely separate one, which is in turn holding up this one over here, which, you know, is under, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. What the hell? And none of this, like, seems to be pointing in any direction or making any sense, but it is weird to me. Like, if you tried to decipher naturally what had to happen first, I mean, these ones here would have had to go down first, then everything's kind of piled on top, right? This one would have been a later one because it's on top. All of these ones here were first because they're underneath, and then this one's on top. So these ones, then this one fell, but that had to fall after that one because the end of it is on top. So you can figure out what's going on, but it doesn't look natural to me. It just, what do you guys think? Let me know in a comment below. We're gonna get down here to the edge of the pond and then try to scope that back edge along there. Goes a duck across the pond, a wood duck. You get out of that water. Beautiful and quiet back here today. Not a ripple out there on the pond. Kind of misty. And there goes my dog heading for the water. Yeah, it's starting to rain out there. You can see it. Gage just barked. He's looking back behind us. Well, that's a little bit weird. Freaks me out a little bit when he does that. When he alerts to something, you know, from the direction we've already walked. He doesn't bark for squirrels and things like that, so that's weird. And there shouldn't be any deer or anything because the deer hear me coming, they're gone. So what is he barking at? I don't know. There's a little bit of a land bridge. It's a beaver dam, actually, that goes right there. And then you can get into that whole section of land. And I've taken you guys back there. There's snowshoe trails back there. But it's dangerous country. There's lots of crevasses. It's all on bedrock. Lots of places you can slip and, you know, an ankle go through a little bit of moss on the ground, and nobody's coming to look for you because that's the only access right there. On the other side of that is another big open swamp. Well, there are limitations to this setup, guys, as I just showed you in that last clip. Very sensitive to my touch. If I just put one finger on here, it makes the whole thing shake, the whole video, the phone, the recording. It's that sensitive, right? And then you're trying to gently pan it. So unless I see movement out there, and that's the other problem is today, it wasn't foggy at the house, it wasn't misty, but back here it is, and it's actually started to rain. So between those two things, I'm having a very hard time seeing that back wood line there. So there are limitations. Also, this case that I have to keep the phone in for it to magnetically clip on here, I don't have any zoom. I have the 1x front camera and 1x back camera. That's it. This case blocks the other lenses. Even right there, I wanted to zoom in on that point. I forgot. I tried, and we just get a black lens. I'll show you guys what. Well, no, there's no point in showing you. You just see blackness. So we got 1x, and then we've got with the scope 25x 260. But even 25x is. I'll show you guys. We'll zoom in on that right there. So there's the view over there. Zoomed in. That's only 25x on the scope. I mean, if there was something there that we wanted to zoom in on, that is awesome. But when you're just trying to find things moving, it's a very narrow, tight field of view. The joys of filming with a dog. He's constantly running into my tripod and stuff like that. You have to find patience sometimes that you just don't have. I would love to just look over there and see the big guy poke his face out of all that thick greenery. Just for a second. That's all I need. Somebody was trying to go for a swim. I said no. You don't listen. That swamp really stinks, guys, so I'm trying to keep him out of it. I can hear something moving behind me, guys, as I'm Filming the far shoreline here. Gage stopped right at the tripod. He turned around. I can hear movement. Sounded like it was coming from back in here. Starting to rain harder now. The nice thing about this scope is it is fully waterproof. The outside case protects it a little bit too, so I don't worry about it in the rain. The phone is waterproof, the action camera is waterproof. We're going to walk towards that opening. I don't know that I'm going to cross that, but let's just take a look. This goes to the scary woods. Here's the old beaver dam that I was telling you guys. Nobody goes to this place back here. Look at the animal trail right there. This is the woods that is dark and lonely. Nobody goes back here because that where we just came through is the only access to get here on this side. That point right there is where I wanted to go. Right there. There's a big clearing up here which we've been in before. And we found like a weird shelter. Now it could have been deer hunters from many, many years before, but there was no rope or anything. It was just a bunch of logs kind of piled up on top of each other. Just noticed these two breaks on the edge of the wood line here. That one right there. And then that one right there. Yeah, you can see the deer trails quite clearly. Oh. Look at this trail. All right, I might as well show you guys. I think I know where that pile of logs I was talking about. It's up here, not too far. Last time I was in here a couple of years ago, I came from down there. But right up here on this rock, yeah, I see it. I can still see it. Right there. This is the area I'm talking about where there's lots of moss covering cracks and holes in the rock that you don't want to step in, twist or break an ankle. There it is, it's still there. Definitely looks like that was placed by somebody. It's in a square shape. Now, were they using that as a base of a hunting blind? Could very well be, guys. But there's no rope or anything, and there's no other signs of humans because we looked last time we were here. But for those of you that don't go back and watch the back catalog, I thought I'd just show you again. It can only be one thing. It can only be for hunting back here. There's no kids playing back here. Let's put it that way. It's not a kid's fort. 100%. It's not a homeless thing because this is nowhere near town. They wouldn't come here. There's nothing here but scary ass woods and swamp. This is a nice red pine forest right here. These are all red pine, you can see. I don't know if the color gets picked up by the action, but this is, look at the nice red in this bark here. Ravens are going crazy behind us. Oh, that's kind of a cool big old pine right there. You could put a nice flat platform up there to make a tree house or a deer blind. And then right here beside it, you can see where the woodpeckers have worked this poor little birch over quite extensively, actually. Something else I hadn't accounted for with this setup is with my action camera on my right shoulder, I can only carry the scope on my left. So after an hour of hiking around back here, guys, you don't realize how much you switch heavy gear like that from shoulder to shoulder. But because I'm trying to give you guys the best point of view that we can, I can't do that today. So just something to remember when I think of this stuff, you know. One shoulder is getting a way more of a workout than the other. Stay out of there. All right, like there's no way I can jump that, buddy. Oh, I gotta do it. Just dying to switch that scope to the other shoulder. If you guys are looking, you're gonna see all kinds of loopers and things like right there. I like to say natural chaos. There's just so much of it. It can't be anything but. But the structure I showed you guys earlier definitely looked abnormal to me. You know, and then you see stuff like this, a little triangle. Is that natural? It's kind of on a trail. There's definitely an animal trail right here, like a deer trail. And then we've got this birch triangle right on the trail. I don't know. Can you guys see the trail right here? I know some of you guys that deer hunt and stuff, you'll see it. It's right here. The deer actually have the ground worn down here. It's probably an inch lower and 8 inches wide. And I can see it S-turns between the trees up there. Just a little bonus snippet here. I'm back in the yard. It's raining really good right now. I just want to shout out again, guys, this DJI action is so good, so reliable. I love the field of view, the point of view that it gives you guys when we go on hikes. You know, we started the new hiking point of view series. Gerald and I have been out a couple times for the Bigfoot stuff. Again, it's going to be invaluable. Just have a camera that you can trust, that you push the button and it records. No fuss, no muss, and it doesn't stop until the battery dies an hour and a half after you start it, you know. That is amazing. These guys have done some amazing things. And this isn't even the newest action, right? This is the 4. So if you guys can find this one on a used sale somewhere, the 4 is phenomenal, and Gary gives it 2 thumbs up. The other thumb is up, but it's holding the phone, which is what you guys need to do on this video. Thanks a lot. Right, I better clarify for all the dummies out there. Don't give 2 thumbs up, because if you click on the thumb up twice, you'll actually give me a thumb down.